Hello and welcome to Let's Discuss Workplace AI Technologies, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Change. I'm your host, Carrie Miller. In this episode, we'll be getting inside of the benefits and harms of AI-determined quotas for workers. Let's discuss. We're going to start with a definition. What is a quota? Well, Merriam-Webster says a quota is a fixed minimum or maximum of something that a person or group is expected to contribute. Now, let's unpack that big, giant word, quote, something, because when it comes to the workplace, quota can pop up in a lot of places. For example, we find quotas in warehouses in terms of how many orders get picked, packed, or shipped per person per hour, or how fast inbound receiving gets put away. In a call center or a sales operation, we'll find quotas on the number of contacts made, duration of calls, quotas pinned to the dollar amounts. Companies delivering home services like HVAC or plumbing repair, or maybe cable or internet installations might use quotas for the number of customers they see in a day or time at each stop. Essentially, anywhere a company wants to monitor efficiency, you'll find a quota. So here's the thing with automated quota systems. Some systems will look at historic data and use a statistical approach like a bell curve or normal distribution to set future expectations. So this is generally okay, but it does have some problems. So for workers that don't perform in the upper ranges of your bell curve, that can be a problem. So if you're using this to determine the ranges, beware, because you might accidentally cause some harm to those workers that are performing at the middle to lower end of your bell curve. However, they might still be very reliable, very good, solid workers. So you're going to want to understand the technology very well before you do the installation of it. Here's the other problem with this technology. Some systems adopt a different goal setting approach. These systems use what we would call the law of efficiency gains, which basically means the more you do, the more efficient you get at doing it. Okay, so your quota then in this system is just going to kind of go up and up and up. And who's to say where the human limit really is with these systems? So, yeah, that's a problem. Unless, of course, you're a cyborg, then you're fine. So the real problem with these systems is that life is never as perfect as you imagine it to be. Let's think about this for a minute. What if your workers don't actually come in at exactly 8 a.m. and start work immediately and take exactly 30 minutes for lunch and take exactly 2 15-minute breaks and leave at exactly 5 p.m. every single day? Like a good little perfect cyborg human. What if, I don't know, what if our workers exhibit common human conditions that foil our perfect quota plans? Like what if Fred shot his eye out with his own BB gun, even though his wife told him not to buy said BB gun for their grandson for Christmas. And now Fred can't pick orders as fast as he did last week. And what if Tanya's daughter's sick today? And what if the sales team needed a new product training for 3 days? And what if Jaquil had to wait for accounting to process a client payment before he could enter his next sale? And what if Emily's system crashed at 8:05 a.m. and IT is, quote, in a meeting for 3 hours about their Amazon Web Service migration that didn't go as planned? Or Jonathan got a flat tire on his way to his 5th client appointment of the day. I mean, what if, life happens? What does the AI software do then? Send out a sympathy card? Does it just dock their pay and write them up? Or worse, does it fire your best employees? So this is precisely why at least 6 states have introduced legislation on quotas for workers. I'm not kidding, 6 states since January. So quoting from the New Jersey legislation, it says an employee shall not be required to meet a quota that prevents compliance with required meal or rest periods, including use of the bathroom, including reasonable travel time to and from the bathroom facilities. So there's a lot more to these laws. I'll put some of the links in the show notes here so you can read them for yourselves. They're very fascinating. but we need laws for this stuff now. So when we talk about governance, there are two really important things that we need to think about. Well, there's a lot more than two, but I'm going to focus on two here. In this case, those two things are references, including site visit demos, and hugely important, procurement questions. Don't just get a list of 2 or 3 references, get 10. And don't just let the company give you a demo. See if their client will give you a demo. I know that's out of the box thinking. Trust me, it is a different approach, but it's meaningful. And when it comes to procurement, make sure you're asking the right questions, or hire an expert to help you ask the right questions, like me. And you're going to want to make sure that you're asking for detailed explanations about how that algorithm works. What is it doing? Where they've set their human limitations, and what specific ethical choices they've made. And that's it. That's our discussion for today. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another workplace AI use case discussion. Have a wonderful week, everyone.